Hey guys, what's going on? This is Deepankar and you are watching the Practical Nmap Guide. In this video, we are going to cover two topics. The first one is how to save your Nmap results into a file, and the last one being testing your knowledge. Alright, so till now we have learned host discovery, how to perform basic port scanning, how to identify the services running on these ports, how to identify whether a host is up in a network, how to discover hosts in a given range of network, firewall evaluation methods, aggressive scanning, OS detection, etc, etc, etc. So we learned quite a few stuffs, and we need to save the results that Nmap gives into a file. The most common way is to just copy and paste. Well, that's so rudimentary. What if you have a very huge scan result? How will you copy them all? It takes quite a few time, and it's even convenient to actually pass a parameter in the command line as we type, so that the Nmap will save the results automatically. So that's where saving the results into a file, this concept comes into play. Nmap has three different ways of saving the results into a file, and one more way which is miscellaneous, which is optional, and that is called script kiddie way. And I would not recommend using that particular format, because it actually saves your results into mixed case format, like I is being replaced with maybe exclamation mark, A might be replaced with the at symbol, E might be replaced with 3. It's just for fun. All right, just to add some tanginess to the results, or else we are only interested in three different formats in which Nmap saves. The first one is normal form, the second format is XML format, and the third format is greppable format. So before we dive deep into these three topics one by one, we must analyze how or what is the syntax that we use in Nmap so that we can save the results into a file. So this is the basic syntax that we use so that we can save the results of the Nmap into a file. We type Nmap in the option arguments. These option arguments must be replaced with what all you want to do with the IP address. If you want to do simple port scanning or service version number detection, that's up to you. And after you have done, this output format will determine which format you are interested in, whether it is in normal form, whether it is in XML format, or greppable format. I'll briefly discuss about these three in a moment. So you will mention the appropriate flag right over here, and then you will mention the path of to which we are going to save this results into, including the file name. So I have started my Parrot operating system in the background so that I can show you what I mean. And there are three terminals. In one terminal, I'll show you the normal format, how you can save the files in the normal format. The second, I have XML format, and the third, I'll be showing how to save the file results into greppable format. So what I'm going to do, I'll perform scan on my Metasploitable 2 vulnerable machine, which is running in the background, as you can see right over here. This is my Metasploitable 2. Let me do ifconfig. So if you don't know what Metasploitable 2 is, Metasploitable 2 basically is a vulnerable Linux server or machine on which we can practice exploits and analyze how real-world exploits takes place. So this is intentionally made vulnerable, and we can safely practice our scans here. You can also practice scan on scanme.nmap.org. That's another great site which is made for scanning. So let's go back and analyze how Nmap saves the results into a file. So I'll do Nmap. Oh, it's in capital. Before that, we must need an elevated access, right? So we need to do sudo su. That will give us elevated access. Let me type the password. All right, clear that up. Now we are going to save the results of Nmap of 10.0.2.7. This is my Metasploitable 2 Linux vulnerable machine, and I'm going to perform Nmap on it, and I would like to save the file as normal format. So that's where the flag -o capital N comes. We'll save the file in normal format. And now the last option is the path name, where you want to save. I want to save it in the current directory, that // Then I would mention the file name. Let's call it normal. All right, now I'm going to hit enter. So the scan took place and it has been saved into normal file. All right, that I have mentioned here. In the current directory, it's saved into the normal file. Okay, now let's save the results in XML format. For that, type nmap 10.0.0.2.7. Then the flag for XML format is -o capital X, and then the path name, that is, I will mention XML, and now we hit enter. It's gonna save the results into XML format, and the file name is XML, and it is stored in the current directory. That is why I have added /. Now for greppable format, I'll type nmap, then 10.0.2.7, and then for greppable, the flag is -o capital G, and then the file name where you want to save. So that is in the current directory in the file called as grep. Now if I hit enter, these results are also saved into the file named grep. All right, so let me clear the screens up. So now what we're going to do, we are going to print the contents of each file one by one and analyze what is the difference between each format. So if I type cat normal, well, cat is a command, Linux command, which is used to show the contents of a file. So if I type cat normal, this is how a normal file looks like. When you save the results into normal format, this is how it looks like. If I do cat XML, this is how an XML format looks like. Now if I do cat grep, this is how a greppable format looks like. So as you can see, you can clearly distinguish between three of them. Normal, what it does, it saves the results as it is, as nmap shows to your screen. The only advantage is that you are also able to see the command that you issued while you perform the scan. So this is the most recommended format in which you should save nmap, because it's very useful and you're also able to see what all command you issued which gave you the result, and even the results is in a neat format. Now for XML format, as you can see, it's basically saving the results in an XML way, and each of them are used in entities. As you can see, port protocol entity and all, etc. Now in greppable format, it's basically giving you the port numbers and their services in separated by /. So basically greppable format is used by developers and people who automate stuff. So what do they do is they issue a grep command. Grep is used for searching for patterns, and this particular format makes it easier to access. So for us as an ethical hacker, we are only interested in normal format, and we would be saving our results into normal format in future as well. So guys, that was all about saving the results into a file. Now let's move directly into testing your knowledge. So guys, welcome to the test your knowledge section. Here I'll be testing your knowledge, what all you have learned till now, and whether you still remember the concept that I taught you. Well, in the down I have written something. Make sure to refer the manual page of nmap. And how do you do that? You will type man nmap. What is the advantage of doing this? The major reason I wrote it in here is because I have also introduced some commands that you have never heard of, and you need to perform man nmap and then find out what that command does. This comes in handy because if you're reading somebody else's report, and if they have used some nmap flags and you don't know what those flags stand for, in that case you will issue this man nmap command, and from there you will find out what that flag stands for. And that is the main reason why I have included this particular note right there. So let's begin. So the first question is, scan first 1000 ports of scanme.nmap.org with synscan and verbose. How many ports are open? So I would like to ask you to pause the video right there. Find out the command. The command might vary a little bit, in case of using verbose command or disabling ping command. That's up to you. But there are certain flags that are necessary for this question, and I am only looking forward to that. So if your flags are correct, then your command is absolutely working. So pause the video, find the answer, and then I'll show the result. So the command will look something like this. So let's move on to the next question. Perform a ping scan on zbunker.in. Also perform traceroute to find the path to reach zbunker.in. So if you remember, we just introduced traceroute briefly in our previous videos, but I never discussed the command. So now man nmap will come into handy. You need to find the command for traceroute and find it, and then try to give the command as the output. So what, according to you, will be the command that we're going to use for this particular scanning method? So the result is this. The next question: which switch will you toggle to perform an XMA scan? It's pretty simple, right? It's -S capital X. If you want to perform OS detection, traceroute, service version number detection, and script scanning together, which switch will you toggle? Well, obviously it's our magical flag. It's also known as the aggressive command, aggressive scanning, and that is -A. How will you identify the services and their versions running on port 80, 21, 3389 of 192.168.2.27? If there is a firewall, how will you try to bypass it using null scan? Well, this will actually require a little bit of intensive knowledge from multiple fields of Nmap. So for the first part, this is the particular command that we're going to issue, and for the second part, this is the command that we're going to issue. If you combine both the commands together, that's also working well and fine. And if you got this answer as correct, then give yourself a pat on the back. You are now an Nmap mogul. You can now navigate through Nmap commands, and you know how to issue Nmap commands perfectly. But this is not the end, my friend. The last question is really gonna blow your mind off. Use scan.nmap.org, then run a script scan of type vuln on scanme.nmap.org. Is the site vulnerable to any exploit? Try to make your nmap command as fast and efficient as possible. Output the results to /home/user/nmap result in normal form. So if you are able to do this question, then I would consider that you have successfully completed Nmap and you are ready to take to the next level. So the answer is this. If your Nmap command exactly matches as mine, well then kudos to yourself. You are now an Nmap expert. Well, that's it for this video. This video completes the Nmap practical guide series. I hope you enjoyed it. So if you really liked it, please give a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to our channel, and make sure that you share this video to as many people as possible, because it's already a free education. You can send it to others and they might also gain benefits from this. So thank you for watching.